Welcome, everyone. Tonight's topic is disasters that changed the world. And how's everybody doing out there? And okay, so yeah, the intro there was a little bit different. I pulled up an old PowerPoint and updated it, and I forgot to put the lead in on it, but hey, it worked. All right, let's see who's all here. Let's go up here, and first one in, I get to the top. There it is. Was CR. And he's being punny right off the bat. You guys want to see his pun? Scroll back to the top. All right, then Alicia came in, and then Walt Rogers, then Phelan Clan Wolf, then Duncan 1900 Homestead, Kaylin Strain, Suzanne Galley. Oh, Suzanne got a skippable opening ad. I know on both on my Camppatton Family Compound YouTube, I have open for making comments, and down over here I got Gray Man Prepping open watching it as well, so I can double hammer any trolls that come in. They had a long single ad. Mad Chick Acres is next. Hey, Mark. And Mark also got ads on his other channel, Chef Tech. And Walt had two ads on his. What else is in here? Making sure I'm not missing anybody else. Uncle Al's in the house. Lewis is here. It's the Marshmallow Man. And all right. Okay, so caught up on everybody there. Now, I addressed this topic 3.5 years ago on a Thursday one. But Farmer John Bacon, welcome. And so I've updated some of the slides on it and got some more information. And those of you that want to join in on the conversation up here, we can get a little panel going up here. I put the link. It's now pinned to the top of the chat there. So Uncle Al got 2 ads, elderly ads, diapers and cruising. All right. So if anybody hasn't noticed, the weather has been a little weird for the United States. And last year's, so I'm losing it. Yeah, last year was the polar vortex, and it was really weird. And there is a thing that is affecting it, which I'm trying to do this so I don't wind up getting the UN border thing across the thing saying that all something or other warming is done caused by people, and that's it, according to the UN. Sorry, blue helmets are not allowed around here. You think that might affect the weather there, Mark? Hey, Soldier's Girl Prepper. All right, so with that, let's get into this, and let's see. Let me go ahead and move myself over. There we go. All righty, so now a lot of people think, or a lot of people, yeah, I guess a lot of people think that, well, natural disasters can't change the weather. Only people can do that. Well, yeah, they can. All right. How many remember the wildfires every year for the last 20 years? Look at all that smoke being put off. And that definitely changed the weather immediately in that area, and then later on in larger areas as it went around. So, yeah, so wildfires is one that does it. Earthquakes is another one. Volcanoes, with an asterisk on it here. It can affect the weather multiple ways. the global temperature cycles, and we'll talk about that a little bit. Asteroids, just ask the dinosaurs. CMEs, and polar shift. And we'll talk about all of these and some others. If you got here comes Lewis. Hey, Lewis.
Hey.
Let's get in here and go through some of these slides, and then we can get chatting. Okay, the wildfires. I mean, what do wildfires do? They produce smoke and heat, and and of course, in some groups, it's the carbon dioxide they put off that affects the weather too. But wildfires will affect weather and stuff. Depending on the size, locally within several hundred miles, upwards to 1,000 miles, and it's big enough and it burns long enough, it'll affect all the way around. And I just got a WWF wrestling ad pop up on my YouTube over here. Oh, they're being aggressive tonight. Gee, I guess they don't want to interrupt the conversation here going on, but it's not popping up on Gray Man. So, all righty. So let's see. All right, there you can see. Just more smoke going up in the air causes all sorts of weather changes. That doesn't have to be major. It doesn't have to be long term, but it can affect the weather, make changes to it. Then there's earthquakes, and people go, well, how can earthquake change the weather? Well, let's go back and look at the New Madrid Fault. Back in the early 1800s, late, I can't remember the date now on it. I think it's 1810. But it changed the course of the Mississippi, and which affected the weather for a little while. Because of the weather, the water flow and everything, it changed. It brought up a lot of sand flows and stuff, which destroyed stuff and did some other things as well to change it back then. But there's other ways that earthquakes can affect the weather. These are all the earth. This is just from 1900 to 2017 of ones they were able to document, because some of the ones back in the early 1900s around the world, they did not document because they didn't have any way of documenting because they had nobody there. Those big black dots are the 9.0 or greater earthquakes, the 5 of them in the last 124 years. And the one out here in the between India and Australia there was Krakatoa, and Krakatoa affected temperatures worldwide for over a year. Krakatoa, they made a movie about the going on there. It was called Krakatoa East of Java. Well, the problem is Krakatoa is not east of Java, it's west of Java. But they said Krakatoa East of Java because the shockwave was felt all the way around the world. And then the cloud of volcanic ash and stuff went all the way around the world. Yeah. And let's see here. But what's interesting, what I want to point out here is right here. If you look, you can see my cursor moving there off the coast of Spain. That big red dot there, off the coast of Spain. That's the place we're going to talk about a little bit. How earthquakes can affect it, and volcanoes. And that place is a volcano, and it has earthquakes as well. And there's debate on what's going to happen. But volcanoes, yeah, all that cloud ash goes up. When Mount St. Helens went up, the weather was changed up in the northwest for a year. Yellowstone, everybody knows about Yellowstone. Well, everyone goes, oh yeah, this is the big circle. That's Yellowstone. No, that's not Yellowstone. That's the Bishop Ashfield, which was another volcano. And the one Actually, the very big one was the Long Valley Caldera, the Lava Creek ash bed. The Huckleberry Ridge ash bed was also Long Valley Caldera. And the dotted one inside here was the Bishop ash bed. And the smallest one was Yellowstone. Yeah, Yellowstone had the smallest one. And for years and years, they were saying that the big one here from the Long Valley Caldera was Yellowstone, and no, it's not. They were able to figure out, no, it's not. Up in the left there, you can see Mount St. Helens, and how the main ash. That's the main ash field. That's not the cloud of debris and smoke and stuff that affected Washington, Oregon, Idaho, Montana, Wyoming, and even somewhat into the Dakotas. So volcanoes can affect it. Here's the one that is both a volcano. This is that one off of off of Spain. There's an island out there that's a volcano, and what's going to cause a problem can be either the volcano erupting or just an earthquake from it. And the one side of the island there is slipping, and if it breaks loose, it'll send tidal waves or tsunamis, depending which side breaks loose and which way it goes, either into the southern Spain, which they call Iberia, or down into Morocco and stuff, and force water up into Mediterranean, which will totally change the salinity of the Mediterranean and change the weather patterns thereof for a couple of years. Hey, Hendo, how's it going? Did I miss anybody else coming in? Thank you. Kaylin's on top, that's La Palma. But if it goes the other way and drops off the bigger piece into the Atlantic, they're expecting a 12-foot tsunami hitting the East Coast. And if it 5-foot tsunami hitting the East Coast, if it just slides, and if it totally blows like they expect it to, that piece is coming off with much more force, and then they're expecting the 12-foot tsunamis. Scary stuff, volcanoes and earthquakes. Now, here's the other thing that can really affect the weather. And let's see, we got Bubba's Poverty Lawn. Hey, welcome. Let me slide back up just in case I missed anybody else. No, okay, got it. All righty. Okay, these are the ocean currents. All right, the global ocean currents, and you got warm water going one way and turning cold water coming back down. And back in the let me think about it. It happened twice, but it started off in 1375, I believe it is. The Big Chill, also known as the Little Ice Age, where it got so nice and warm from before man in the industrial revolution, and man was doing much of anything. There was an Arctic lake up in northern Canada up there, and the glacier that was the dam of it finally melted enough that all that fresh water flowed out, billions of, actually I think it was millions of cubic acre feet of water out, and disrupted the current and basically stopped the warm current water from coming up, and basically started the Big Chill, the Little Ice Age, that lasted until 1780 something. But one of the things that affected, there was a second little dump up there, and around the Revolutionary time, and that's when we had not the year of Valley Forge, but the year afterwards, also known as the year without a summer. And at the same time that dump, there was a Krakatoa went, and so there were multiple things going on that caused that year without a summer. Snow in July. All right, so that basically anything that can affect the current is going to affect the weather. Now, there are several things that other things that affect the current as well. Too much ice buildup between the south tip of um, South America and Antarctica. There are several scientists that are postulating that at one time there was an ice bridge across there, and one of the times when the planet went into a cue ball effect. So, because that's the distance down there, if it gets cold enough, it'll just create an ice bridge. Volcanoes and stuff in Indonesia and stuff can affect that current over there, and a number of things can affect the current, including asteroids. All right, here's the interesting thing. This says the oxygen stuff in the Greenland ice cores and stuff. And they can tell when the peaks, as the ice sheets up and down and disappeared and stuff. So, and years and years, these are the first years here. You see them going down. That's BC, and then you got over here from Rome going forward AD. So you had a really warm period, then it cooled down. And it kind of up and down a little bit. Oh, it got really warm here, and then it went down, up and down, up and down. And then the medieval warm period, not quite as warm as the others, and went down. And boy, did it go down. But see, there's the little ice age, the big chill. And it went down. And then it came back up, and we're up here. And this is the modern warming period, 2007. And then there was a drop. And the lower level oxygen stuff, and anyways, yeah. So the changing of the weather is not based on man, but on the cycles of the Earth. Exactly, and that's something else we're going to get into. Other thing. Okay, guys, everyone, ladies, please forgive me. I got to say this joke. Cycles. Sounds like Mother Nature's on her cycle. And if you want, you give me a thumbs down out there. If you want to give me a thumbs down for that joke. But I wasn't the one that came up with that. You can blame that on my sister, who's 10 years older than I am. Asteroids, yes. All sorts of asteroids impact the Earth or meteorites impact the Earth all the time, depending on the size, whether it's a meteor or an asteroid. It had the one on the Yucatan Peninsula, which they blamed for killing all the dinosaurs, which they're finding out wasn't the main cause, but it was a contributing factor. The main cause of stuff happening was the same time that they found out that they finally pinned down the time of the Siberian basalt flows, which was a volcanic eruption that just went on for a century or so. All righty. Okay. All right, let me go back. Let's see. There's meteor crater down there in Arizona. There are several. If you Google meteor impacts around the world, and you look at the biggest ones, there are a lot of big ones that happened near the beginning of or prior to climate changes and stuff throughout history. Well, see, at least it was only a 5-second ad. All right, the sun. Let's see. The Earth is about the size of my cursor there compared to the sun. And you think the sun could affect the temperatures on Earth? They know when the sun says, hey, becoming a green stalker, how's it going? They know that when the sun calms down, temperatures on Earth drop. When the sun gets excited and there's more CMEs and proton releases and stuff like that, even though they're not aimed at Earth, the sun's putting out more energy and the Earth warms up. Aiden Ears here. Hey, welcome. All right, so, and depending on which way the things are going depends, because the Earth, I mean, the sun has a magnetic sphere on it, and it is rotating, and there is a solar current that rotates as well, because everything's in orbit and stuff. If you want to see more about this, check out today's afternoon a suspicious observers video, because there was an X3 class event that lasted for several hours today, but it was on the departing limb on the southern hemisphere of the sun. But it still affected us with protons because of the spin, the solar galactic current sheet of the solar system. But anyways, the solar flares go out and affects the Earth, pushes the magnetosphere and everything else over, and stuff comes in. And when we get hit by stuff, that's when you see the northern lights farther down. Of course, the fact that the global magnetic sphere is weakening. It takes less to make the aurora borealis, and I forget the southern one called, be able to see down farther as far as Texas, even on down even into Mexico. So when that happens, that can heat up the all the atmosphere and heat up the Earth and cause all sorts. There it is. Thank you, Kaylin. There's the southern one. And so, yeah, it's really interesting on this, different things, and do it. And then, of course, the magnetic part of that magnetic sphere weakening is the fact that it is shifting. And here's a partial track of how it's going. And now they've actually, and it's they got it marked out farther. And the space between 2000 projected 2020 actually turned out to be twice as far. So anyways, yeah, so the magnetic poles are shifting and causing problems. Okay, so guys, what other events can you think of, natural disaster events, that would affect the weather? Not permanently. It could be just for a couple months. It could be in a regional area affected only. All sorts of things. So what do you guys think can do it? Any ideas, Lewis?
Yeah, lots. The forest fires were good.
Oh, and you had some big ones up there in Canada, didn't you, this last year?
Yeah, Courtney there, she saying like some of the smoke was blocking her garden and stuff like that. That's how far the smoke can carry away.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm up here in Canada, right? At least, yeah.
Mm.
And don't tell anybody, but I think it's warmed up the waters too. That's why we're having a warmer winter.
Yeah. Interesting thing though is on that, counter to the mainstream narrative of the elitists, some of the warmer temperatures actually increase ice buildup, believe it or not, because there's a balance thing going on the way things work, and they've actually measured increased ice buildup. And everyone going, "Oh, we're warming up, we're going to lose ice? Well, no, the ice is building up more than it has been for the last year, 2 years, I think it is, they said. And it was a little bit less that, and then the ice buildup is it's like a heart monitor. Ding, 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 ding. Yeah. But yes, El Nino or El Nina, which is the weather affecting the weather. Oh, wrong one. There we go. Yeah. So you can have the weather affecting the weather. It's like dominoes. You push one domino over and it goes around in a circle, all of a sudden gets back to where it's starting at again. Hey, Steph, how's it going? Idaho Garden Girls in the house.
Yeah, I can say that those forest fires did heat it up here in Canada big time.
Oh, okay. Everybody hang on to your ears. Here it comes. It's CB at Hugo Homestead. But yeah, and the thing is, like Uncle Al's mentioned several times, tectonic plate shifts. The plate shifting and stuff. Just the fact that if the plates move, get a little jerk and move a little bit, it's going to affect the weather. And the fact that they move over, they're constantly moving over, hundreds and thousands of years, the weather has changed because of plate shifts. Things, you're in one area, next thing you're in another area, and the plate is shifting. Now the currents in the ocean have to change around the new position of it. New islands erupting because plate shift. You get volcanic leaks and stuff going on. And that was something I forgot to put in there. Yeah, we have volcanoes above ground, but the volcanoes under the ocean affect the weather a lot. We don't even know about them, a lot of them, when they erupt. Because it'll heat up some of that deep, cold water. All of a sudden, you got warm water coming to the surface, and that disrupts the oceanic currents as well.
Yeah.
And the fact that when they erupt, what else are they putting into the water? Let's see, sulfur dioxide, carbon monoxide, hydrogen, carbon, methane, all these gases and stuff being released into the water. And subduction here on the West Coast. You have the North American plate moving one direction, westward. You have the Pacific plate moving eastward, and the Pacific plate's going under the North American plate and raises it up. And it's also, not only is it going under, it's also shifting in a different direction.
Earthquakes underneath the water.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And just double checking and just catching up, making sure, the undersea volcanic vents, subduction zone, methane. Well, thank you, Bubbas. Bubbas. All right. Yeah, Kaylin, the New Madrid earthquake did affect the weather, and because basically Mississippi not only flowed backwards for an hour or so, it also changed its course as far as on land. And now I forget which state it is. I think it's Tennessee. Part of the western portion of Tennessee is now been where it was not on the west side of the Mississippi. Now it is, because the river changed and cut part of it off. Let's see here. Well, I would probably say the most common natural event that changes the weather, and we've documented this very well, are volcanoes. Volcanoes change the weather quickly. I mean, within a week or two, you start seeing major changes. And, and just all sorts of stuff. We saw it with the changes from Mount St. Helens. Not only did we have all that, the soot, the ash, and all the crap going up, all the gases going up into the sky and stuff, but we had from the pyroclastic blast and flows, a lot of forest fire went up on that as well. And people don't talk about the forest fire, all the areas being burnt from the forest fires caused by the volcano.
Yeah.
And let me check one other thing here. Let me go ahead and drop that down so I can get that out of my way. And I don't have it over here. There we go.
Yeah, garbage plants. I don't know how many you see. Sometimes the forest fire, not the forest fires, tire fires, and that, and the big garbage places.
Oh yeah, those all that black soot being put up by that.
Yeah.
There's New Madrid earthquake. New Madrid earthquake was 1811 to 1812. Yes, it lasted a period. Let's see if I can get the actual thing here. Come on, where's the okay? So the first quake hit on December 16th, 1811, and the last one was February. The 8.0 was on February 7th, 1812, and there were 4 major earthquakes during that period from December, middle of December to the beginning of February there, plus a whole friggin' boatload of smaller 4 or 5s, and even earthquakes, and they're estimating that most of them were 7. They're saying the 4 major quakes were 7.4 to 8.0. Well, Kaylin's getting the skippable ads, so she can skip them. Usually the skippable ads, although the skippable ads are the really long ones. Yeah, I got one of those skippable ads. Fortunately, I was able to skip it after the first. I skipped it after the first minute because it was a 2-hour ad. A 2 friggin' hour ad on a 10-minute video for a sports thing.
Yeah, like Die Bullfrog says, the Nile turned blood red.
Yeah. Yeah, Mark, that's it. Let the political ads play. It costs them money. Now, guys, I'm going to let you know a little secret right now. Let me see if I can do this here. All right, so if you go over to your tab up here and you right-click on the tab, it says duplicate. If you hit duplicate, now you got 2 tabs that are exactly the same. The ad will play on one and it won't play on the other one, so you can keep on watching me and let the ads play on the other one. Yeah. Oh, here we got some nice pictures from New Madrid. So showing the where it was all felt. It was felt. I mean, it was felt out, down to past Charlotte. It was felt out to the East Coast down here, up to Washington D.C. And just, down in the smaller one, they have all the massive changes and stuff. Yeah, so it was Tennessee with the Mississippi River down in the southwest corner of it, changed location, cuts off a corner of the state now. But there's your USGS. Oh, oh, let's look at earthquakes. Yes. But some of the changes in it caused the Mississippi to overflow and wash out around things. A drawing of stuff there. An artist's depiction of what happened in the Mississippi that flowing backwards.
You ever think there's going to be an earthquake that'll split like somewhere like half of China in half, or America and Canada in half?
No, because there's no the plates don't move between the U.S. and Canada. The plate movements are on the coastline. The only thing about New Madrid, it was a compression point from the plates on both sides squeezing the U.S. And that's what that was. And there's the basically it's pushing and things went oops. But yeah, so earthquakes are probably then for long-term changes and stuff. Probably the number 2. Volcanoes are number 1. I mean, you look at all the hang on just a second here. U.S. volcano map. That brings it up. All right. That one's hardly showing up. It's small here. Interactive mass volcanoes, current and ancient volcanoes. Look at all the volcanoes over the East Coast there. There's the Mississippi River going up and down, about a small one. But these are currently high-risk activity volcanoes on the West Coast right now. However, I'm trying to find the one map that has it. All right, down here in between Arizona and New Mexico is a very, very large volcanic field down there. And basically, these were slow erupting volcanoes that would erupt for decades per eruption, just keep on erupting for an entire decade down there. Yeah, there it is there showing on that one there. And these are other volcanoes and stuff going on. So yeah, and then of course, like CR said earlier, the Ring of Fire. Ring of Fire volcano map. Yeah. And then worldwide volcano map and stuff going around. You got the Ring of Fire here. Down you got all the different plates and stuff, and then you got the volcanoes over there in Africa and up and Mediterranean. And so, yeah. There's your Pacific Ring of Fire, specifically each individual, a lot of the more dangerous or active volcanoes now. If you look at this one here, this one shows a whole bunch more volcanoes on and stuff. So that's all you need to Google is Ring of Fire volcano map, and you'll get all these there. Hey, Liberty Garden, how's it going? Gunslinger Outdoors, how's it going there? I liked your 4-wheel drive van video. I would still I still need to get a 4-wheel drive van like that after my wife moves up here from California, because the older the grandkids get, the bigger seats they need and the more room they need and the more room we need to have between them. Yeah. And that's the thing, is it doesn't have to be instantaneous. It's over time on some of the changes. So, yeah. Yeah, Mother Nature does know how to throw us curveballs or spitballs or knuckleballs, or as CR says, snowballs. Yeah, there. The thing is, though, yeah, we can try to predict from historical events to weather cycles and stuff, but we're looking at our time frame of tracking the weather here in the United States, 300 years. And we don't know what, if you look at 300-year cycle compared to a 6 or 12,000 year cycle, that's just a spit in the bucket.
Yeah, I know. It's just that there's got to be like once, like every so often, like a once in a lifetime thing that just changes something. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Because you see it in the movies, right? Like all of Canada and parts of the northern parts of the states just freezing over, or somehow, some way, like there's an earthquake or something, and half of America or a section of America gets like broken off or something, right?
Yeah.
Or there's this flood and comes in halfway from like New York or something, right?
Yeah. I mean, there are some great movies that are, if you actually look at the science behind them and take out all the Hollywood fluff they added to the movie to make it more interesting. You got Day After Tomorrow, 2012, San Andreas. Some of those, Mother Nature disaster movies have a bit of science. They're based on a bit of science, and then they go off in the Never Land. But Day After Tomorrow is based on the beginning of the Little Ice Age, the Big Chill, about what happened with the current changing up there, around Canada and stuff. It's all the fresh water dump into it, and the current stopped moving, and suddenly instead of us getting warmer, we got colder. Now, here's the interesting thing on that too, is that during the Little Ice Age, the northern hemisphere got colder. The southern, the very southern bit of South America and stuff got colder, but around the equator, because all that heat had nowhere to go, got hotter. I mean, you look at it, the heat increase from that. Parts of Africa got a lot hotter, but the southern tip of Africa got colder. So, and then of course, I'm going to throw the big one at you guys here. And I'm going to go back over to that. Skip it. Sorry. And we'll see how many pennies YouTube gives me off all these stupid ads, which I told them not to put on there. Shoot, had a squirrel moment when I saw the ads thing, the comments in the side chat there. Dang, I had a great thought and it went squirrel, and the dog went chasing after the squirrel. My brain. Yeah, there are a lot of possibilities for long-term and short-term changes to the weather, and the problem is with some of these changes. Now I remember what that thought was. So hang on a second while I bring something up over here before I forget it. Okay, that'll keep me looking for it. The changes are how it's going to affect our food production. Are we going to be able to grow gardens if the weather changes one way or the other? Does it get too yeah. For all these ads, I'm going to make a total of 3 cents, and YouTube's going to pocket $85 just off the hour of the live stream here. Are we going to, is it going to get too hot for us to grow certain foods? Is it going to get too cold for us to grow certain foods or most foods? Yeah, Steph. The big event's coming. What it's going to be, we're still not sure, but the big event's coming. And AI suspicious observers. So you want to find out about the other one, which I talk about it a bit. I've talked about it a little bit here tonight, just brushing over it. But guys, if you want to follow a channel that's really going to give you information about the weather and stuff, Ben Davidson at Suspicious Observers. This was the video 6 hours ago that showed, and it's just that big solar flare that lasted for a couple of hours. You know what? Let me see if I can do this without getting in trouble. And did I do that? And they're throwing, YouTube's throwing ads up on everything like you wouldn't believe, except on gray man prepping. I've yet to, no one has yet to see in the last 2.5 months any ads on gray man prepping. Okay, let me do it this way. Okay, so this is X 3.3. And look, and this is high speed. And this lasted for a couple hours, those flares and stuff going off. There's another view of it, and you see the effect over the entire thing. Let me run that one, run it back again here. The shock wave going over the sun's surface. Watch, here it goes. See all that shock wave. I mean, that's like boom.
Yeah.
This was the plasma that was hitting the Earth within half an hour of it, and this is how it affected the whole. But you can get all the information by going and watching Suspicious Observers. Let's see, go to the chronograph. All right, here we go. Here's the this is looking down from the north, from the North Pole of the sun, and these spirals are the magnetic waves, galactic current sheets here in the solar system. And as it comes off, the stuff, see how everything follows the currents going around. And so that's why we got hit almost instantly by it. But there we go. Check out Ben Davidson at Suspicious Observers. He's got a great channel there on it. I know Kaylin follows him. I know Garden Girl follows him. I think Uncle Al follows him. I'm not sure if Courtney's still following him or not. Dustin, are you guys still watching Suspicious Observers? CR, do you follow Suspicious Observers? I think you've made mention about it a couple times. Yeah, like an electric rubber band. Pop. Mark follows him as well, loves his channel. So, I mean, there's some information and he talks about how all sorts of things from space, besides the sun, other things that are affecting the Earth. And he points things out, and sure enough, all of a sudden, the weather warms up a little bit or cools down depending on what's coming in. Yeah, the gunslinger thinks that King Poopa was a little high in that 3 cents. So, anywho, let's get back to this. I'm just checking here. You're really having a fun time with the ads there, Uncle Hal. Oh man, shoot. I wish I had some way of actually calling somebody at YouTube and saying, "Hey, why am I getting so many weird ads on it?" And especially when I try to select the lowest one on it. I think I'm going to have to just go ahead and So I think I'm going to find out, try one of the ones here on Monday or something. Click not monetized and see if we still get ads thrown on it. Probably will. Gurney's ad's not too bad. At least it's talking about seeds. So gardening and stuff, do you have a plan for weather changing for your garden to still be able to grow? I know Courtney and Dustin, White Family Farm, King Poopa, got a little greenhouse thing and made it like a little hot house out over one of the raised planter beds. And I know I've been harping on everyone growing something indoors during the winter time. I just got I pulled out, I got 5 of them now. 5 of my busting trays, like they use in the restaurant to clean the table off all the silverware, plates, and everything. I have 5 of those now. I've just finished putting potting mix in, and I'm chitting some more seeds for putting. I got a bunch of cabbage seeds going, because I'm gonna try making coleslaw too from the cabbage once it grows up, as well as doing the sauerkraut I'm doing. But I'm also doing some more lettuce and some rainbow chard.
Yeah, I got my tomatoes going. I just separated all my tomato seeds. I got them germinated now, and they're in their individual containers now.
Cool.
I'm just waiting on the peppers.
All right, so CR asks, cold frame? So cold frames, year-round cold frame, you can buy them. You can build them yourselves here. There are different ways you can do it. It's called a cold frame because it's almost like a hot box. It's not heated, but it uses sun and stuff to help heat up the stuff, to keep the stuff from freezing. And some they just simply, putting the plastic over it, wrapping it up. Different ways you can do it. The little mini greenhouses here. Let's go up to the one back up the top. That's a Harbor Freight one. I didn't show one, but the little small mini greenhouses, which you've got to bend over to walk into. Those can constitute, if you have it so it fits right over the top of a planter box, it can be considered a cold frame as well too.
I got a bunch of glass windows sitting in the backyard.
Yeah,
I gotta get some lumber and get my budding gear one year for doing something like that.
Yeah,
I just gotta get the beds built up a little more. Another good dosing of or 2 of manure.
Okay, what Brenda say here? My garden got flooded out 3 years in a row now, so I put in a 3-foot tall raised bed. It quit raining. Mother Nature doesn't love you. Oh. Yeah. My daughter replaced the one door on the house over there. It was a floor to ceiling, almost the entire door was a double pane glass window, and she took it out because it was having problems. And I was going to take it apart and take out the 2 panes of glass and try to build a little hot frame or cold frame out here over one of the raised planter bed things I put in. But the way the temperatures went and everything went weird this fall, and some of the snows came early and stuff, and the extra rains and stuff, I just couldn't work out there on it. Besides, I was trying to work on the shop, trying to get enough stuff up of the OBS up and everything else where I could get both the tractor and the truck in, which I finally did this week. It warmed up enough I was able to get my tractor started. I had enough I had the one pile of OBS gone, so I moved it in, but that's another story. But yeah, so this next year I'm going to be building a cold frame out there on two of the raised planter beds, the little IBS totes I've been using for that. All right, don't want you to turn into a pumpkin. See you later, Greenstalker. Oh, I'm looking at the time here. Okay, so it's coming up tomorrow night, guys. Hang on, let me jump over here. Tomorrow night on Gray Man Prepping, and I may, I'm going to talk to Bill about it. I may go ahead and stream it to both channels. So it'll be on at 8 o'clock tomorrow night. I have Bill Nash of Nash Nurseries coming on, and we're going to be talking about, they mainly do trees and stuff. So I'm going to talk about nut trees, fruit trees, stone fruit trees, and, pick out which ones are the best producing for emergency food source. Not just the fancy, the fancy ones that you want for the few nuts they produce or whatever else. The ones that produce you enough food that you can can it, you can dehydrate it, you can freeze dry it, and you can, from the season of the tree producing, you'll have enough to last through the year. That we'll be talking that too. And because I know my wife specifically bought certain citrus trees that all have a particular lemon tree rootstock because it's the hardiest rootstock for the lemon tree. And house in California, when I bought it, had a lemon tree out front that had frozen back, and it grew back up from the rootstock. And it has thorns on it as long as my index finger, but it has lemons size a small grapefruit on it. So so anyway, so we get on tomorrow night on Gray Man Prepping, and possibly here on Camppatton Family Compound, I'll have Bill Nash on from Nash Nurseries. Monday on Camppatton Family Compound for the Monday Night Fireside Chat is we're going to be talking about tempered glass for canning jars and cookware and why it has deteriorated to crap glass over the last 40 years. Then Tuesday is are you prepared to do what's necessary? That'll be on that'll be on Gray Man Prepping for Tactical Tuesday. Are you prepared to do what's necessary? And it's probably not going to be what you're thinking about, but we'll have a little bit of that in there as well. Next Friday here, we're talking electric fences, but we're talking about animals. All right. And then next Saturday, not tomorrow, the following Saturday is Life's Hard, Woman Up. Yeah. I know a bunch of the ladies in the thing go, yes, woman up, yeah. So, that's going to be an interesting topic going on that one. And hopefully we'll have all you in here for that one too on Gray Man Prepping for Survival Saturday, Woman Up. What was that? What did Steph say here? I bought some organic apples at the grocery store, but it won't be offered for sale outside the state of Washington until 2028. I wonder if you've saved any of the seeds for it, whether you can get the seeds to grow. Don't know. But anyways, everyone, thanks for coming in. Lewis, thanks for coming up and sharing your thoughts.
Yeah, have a good night.
Good night. And everybody in the chat, thank you for coming and contributing and putting up with YouTube's flood of ads. I haven't had this many ads on any of my videos ever. So I don't know what the heck they're pulling here. Maybe they think I'm becoming more popular, so they're going to throw ads everywhere. It's like one of the other channels I was watching today. I mean, every 5 minutes they had, or about every 5 minutes they had an ad on theirs. All right, see you. Hopefully I'll see you tomorrow over on Gray Man Prepping. Take care, everyone.